back again. So what did you think these details and symbols stood for? Let's start with our figure in armour. He is a knight and a nobleman, and the writing can give us a clue about who he is. But it's in Latin, so let's take a closer look together. Here we have the first few letters of what appears to be a name, Rog. The rest has been rubbed away over time, but in full it would have read as follows. Does this name look familiar to you? It's Roger de Quincey, who I mentioned earlier. We can see that he chose to include an image of himself on this object. The diamonds or lozenges we spotted on his seal are his family's coat of arms. As Roger is shown wearing a full suit of armour, the diamonds on his shield were an important way for him to show off who he was in battle. Roger is shown as strong and brave, standing up to a fierce lion. This lion, who's standing on his hind legs, can be described as a ramping lion, and he is a royal symbol and represents the power of the king. Roger's father had joined the rebellion against King John, and here Roger may be wanting to say that he too isn't afraid to stand up to the power of the king. If we continue to move clockwise, the writing can give us another important piece of information about Roger de Quincey. Here we see the Latin constabulari. This looks a lot like the English word constable. If we move to the top of the object, we can see a word more clearly, Scotti. This is the Latin for Scotland. Roger de Quincey was Constable of Scotland, showing that he was a powerful figure not only in England, but in Scotland too. Finally, we have a flower. This was a symbol used by Roger's mother, Margaret. Could he be using it to honour her and connect himself to his ancestors? So we now know that Roger de Quincey asked for an object to be made which represented him and his identity. We can tell a lot about him just by looking at it. He wanted to show himself as a brave soldier and highlight the importance of his family and his power in Scotland. But what did you think this object was? The materials it's made from can give us a clue. This object is made out of wax and is called a seal. The fact that the seal is faded suggests it was made a long time ago. And we find out that Roger de Quincey was an important figure in medieval England. In fact, this seal dates from 1253, so it's almost 800 years old. A seal would be made using a heavy metal stamp called a matrix. This would be pressed onto the wax to create all of the details that we can see on the seal. This is why some of those details and decoration appear raised or in relief. And let's think back to the fabric cords. What would this seal have been attached to, and why? Well, in the 13th century, a seal was a little bit like a signature. Seals would have been used by important figures as proof that they agreed to or promised something. We still use signatures today in this way. The cords would have been used to attach the seal to another document or letter, which would give details about what was being agreed upon. I can tell you that in this instance, Roger de Quincey was using his seal to show that he agreed to give land to another nobleman, Edmund de Lacy, in exchange for a pair of grey fur gloves at Christmas. Some pretty expensive gloves, don't you think? However, from looking at the images on Roger's seal, we can tell that it was much more than just a signature. This was his personal seal and was completely unique to him. It was an important way for him to show off his status and influence what people thought of him. You've done a fantastic job investigating this very special seal. Do you think I've shown you the whole document? Take a look at our follow-up activities on this page to find out. You'll also find another beautiful seal from our collection and a craft activity for you to try at home. I hope you enjoyed our session today, and we hope to see you again very soon for another History Mystery. Bye for now.